Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie and I'd like to welcome you to this very special edition of Cut TV, brought to you by www.craftsuprint.com. Now in this episode we're going to be thanking the NHS and key workers for all that they do for us. And by doing this we're actually donating kits to not only thank them but to spur them on and to give you something creative to do in case you've got a little bit of extra time on your hands. Maybe it's yourself that wants to get into crafting, maybe it's a great kit for you to make and say thank you to somebody. Maybe you want to make it and make it with the kids basically. Maybe you've never crafted before. So I want to go through how to make this kit, what you get in it, and give you a few ideas if you've never crafted before on what you could do. Now, Carol Clarke has very kindly donated a selection of kits and specifically designed them for NHS workers and key workers. The kit that we're going to be using is Cup 1035224_359. It's by Carol Clarke and it's called 2020 Virus Volunteer 3D on the Shelf Card Kit. Now you can see all the kits and the items that have been donated to be used free at www.craftsuprint.com/info/nhs.cfm. I will put the address on screen for you because you know what, take advantage of the kits that are available. Do something with the kids, do something yourself, do something different, and they're free. And if you can thank one person and bring a smile to somebody's face, that's awesome. So in the kit you get 7 sheets and instructions. I'm going to run through the sheets that you get. I've printed them off on Crafty Bob paper. So we've got sheet 1, which is the main guy here, that is going to be the focal point, and then we're going to build up the decoupage on his face. And then we've got his legs. I know it looks rather odd to any new viewers, but trust me, it'll all go together. And then Carol's added a little diagram at the side of how it's going to look when it's finished. So that's sheet 1. Sheet 2, we've got the decoupage items to build the guy's face up and his legs. Sheet 3 is I would say the mechanism to make it work, and then we've got some extra labels, thank you frontline superhero, etc. And you can add them to, you know, whatever you want to say. If you just want a blank one because you're saying something completely different, use that. Sheet 4 is the backing paper. Now, for crafters that are more advanced and have crafted before, this is where double-sided printing comes in. You don't have to, but this is one of the sheets for double-sided printing. I'm going to go through that with you though, so don't panic. This is the second backing sheet, which again is for double-sided printing, and this is for the envelope. You don't have to, but you know, if you're more advanced you might want to. So this is the front of the envelope, and then we've got the back of the envelope. Now I'm going to go back to the beginning of the sheets, and I just want to explain about the double-sided printing, because on the instructions, now I've printed mine off in black and white just to save colour. It says here what you have to print, and this is what I've done. I've printed sheet 1, 2 and 3 on photo paper. This is sheet 3. And then on the reverse of sheet 3, you print sheet 4. Oh, where's it gone? So that would be sheet 4 on the back. So you can see how I've printed on the reverse. So that's sheet 3, and you will print it so it's on the reverse. Then the same for the envelope, and you'll see that on the actual envelope as we make it up. There we go. Hope I'm not confusing you too much. So that's for the people that like to double side print. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you don't have the capability, just print the sheets out, stick it on back to back, cut out from sheet 3 and stick it on, and then cut it out. Now for new crafters and for anyone, maybe you're entertaining the kids and you don't want to use 200 GSM paper. Maybe you don't have 200 GSM paper. Maybe you just have regular copier paper that's 80 GSM, it's really thin, and you're thinking, how can I make a card from that? You know what, you don't need anything special, and I think that's what's fun about this, and this is where you could do it with the kids. I've got some cardboard here. Now I've got to admit, this was packaging from the Crafty Bob paper, because you get a sheet of card in it. This could have been from a cereal box, it could have been from numerous things, and all I would simply do is cut the items out that you're going to use, and using whatever glue you have at home. You don't have to use your specialist glues if you're only just beginning. Just use what you've got, whether it's your Pritt stick or just a liquid white PVA glue. Stick it onto the cardstock, onto the cardboard, nice side outwards. And when I say nice side, obviously if you've got your Kellogg's cornflakes printed on one side, use a plain side outwards. And then stick it on and cut it out. Or cut it out and stick it on. Whichever way you want to do it. Because remember, you're getting it for free. If you're printing it off, you can print it off as many times as you like. So whatever works for you. Now for more advanced crafters, we're going to score lines. And we're going to use a bone folder. If you're not an advanced crafter, you've never crafted before, just use a pencil or something that's going to help score a line. And I'll show you what I mean by scoring a line. So on the actual card that Carol has included for the base, as I look for it, there we go. I'll show you on the envelope. Carol has included the score lines of where you fold. So what I do is I use my trimmer, and you'll all recognise the name. So I use the trimmer, I line the marks up on the actual cardstock. I take my bone folder and I run it down that trim line, and then that way I can fold that when I've cut it out, and that gives me that perfect edge. Now hypothetically, if you're a new crafter, you can still fold that and use whatever you have, whether it's a pen or a pencil. You can fold it the best of your abilities along those lines and make a neat score using a pen. And there we go. Run it along as many times as you like. Depends what kind of pen you've got. You could use your scissors, you could use a ruler. That will give you a score. So now we can make the card, and I hope I've helped and not confused too many people with that. I've taken the base card on sheet number 3 and I've cut it out after double side printing it. I've also added tape on the card where Carol has indicated on the tutorial itself. So that's 4 pieces on the back and 1 piece on the turn of the front. I've scored it in the places marked on the sheet already. So you can use your bone folder to make sure your score is nice and sharp, and you can just ensure it folds nicely, because what we're looking for is that shape. So now it's a really easy card. Before I add our little volunteer on the front, I've taken one of the label sentiments. I've taken the blank one with a picture of the guy on. I've got double-sided tape on the back. Now, if you've never crafted before, this is where you would use maybe your PVA or your Pritt stick, whatever you're happy using. And I'm just going to add this label at the back. There we go. And then you can sign your name there, you can add a message, whatever you want to do. Now we can start adding our little fella to the front. I'm going to peel off the tape. I've used red tape on the card, and if you're at home and thinking, oh, I haven't got any red tape, I can't give the kids that, again, use a Pritt stick, use a glue pen, whatever you're happy using. I think a lot of us have got the PVA glue. So the first thing we want is the full volunteer's face and coat. And what happens is you're going to stand the card up and you're going to place the full volunteer to the base of the card. So you're going to stand it on the base of the card. I would push it backwards and then press it against the card like so, so that he is sat like that basically on the card. So he's on the front turn of the front of the card basically. Next we're going to build him up because there's lots of decoupage layers. Now if you're new to crafting and you've never decoupaged before, these are 3D foam pads. You can either use 3D foam pads or silicone glue. And all it is the art of building layer after layer. So you just take the image and then place it over the image, and each layer will get smaller. If you're new to crafting, you don't have to decoupage it. It'll look different. It will be a little bit flatter. It will still be great and it will still be well received. So that's the guy's face and his coat. Next we need the over the shelf bit, and this is where this little bit comes in. So this is the front score, again with red tape on, and again at home you use whatever glue you want. So this is his legs, and I know it looks odd from the sheet and it's odd from where you've cut it out, but it'll all be very clear soon. So what I do is I pop his legs central to the flap like so. So the back of the flap is just covering and against the back of actually his knees, like that. So we can press that down and then add the decoupage layers again on 3D foam, building up those layers. And I've got the layer of his boots as well at the bottom, and his hands. There we go, like so. And that is actually the card finished. Now it's very hard for you to see because I haven't got a shelf. I'll try and photograph it, it's sat on a shelf. But you can see how there's his hands and his feet, and yet it's that shape. So it's going to sit perfectly on the shelf or the mantelpiece. And what an ideal card. Now I know this is an extra long video, and we've got the envelope to make as well. We've done the double-sided printing, and all it is cutting the envelope pieces out using your glue along the edge, and then adding them edge to edge, and then that is your matching envelope for your 3D shelf card. And I just think what a perfect way to say thank you. Whether it's a doctor, a nurse, a volunteer, check out that page, and I'm going to read the page again, and I will put it on screen again. www.craftsuprint.com/info/nhs.cfm. You might not need the CFM, don't worry about that bit. It's by Carol Clarke, and it's cup number 1035224_359. Please check out Carol's other designs for key workers, because you know what, just saying thank you to them doesn't really, you know, go far enough. And there's so many different key workers out there, and we have to support each and every one of them. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, wash your hands every time you touch something, because you know what, you're all amazing, and you're all my friends, whether you follow me on Craftsuprint or not. I just want to make sure you all stay safe. So I can't say it enough, wash your hands, stay safe, stay at home. And a massive thank you to our key workers, and a massive thank you to Craftsuprint for doing this. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.